Hello and welcome back. Today we're taking a close look at a prominent name in the Indian banking sector, the Federal Bank Limited.
That's right. Federal Bank, headquartered in Aluva, Kerala, is one of India's major private sector commercial banks. They've got a significant footprint, recently crossed the 5 lakh crore rupees mark in total business, and even recently onboarded actress Vidya Balan as their first ever brand ambassador.
Quite a few things happening there. So they've released their audited financial results for the fourth quarter and the full financial year ended March 31, 2025. The board approved these results on April 30, 2025. We'll be looking at both the standalone and consolidated figures today.
Correct. It's important to look at both to get the full picture. The bank itself and the group, including its subsidiaries like FedBank Financial Services and associates like Ageas Federal Life Insurance.
Absolutely. Let's dive into the standalone performance first. How did the bank fare in Q4 on its own? Let's start with net interest income, or NII. How does that look year over year and quarter over quarter?
Okay, looking at the standalone Q4 results, the net interest income for the quarter ended March 31, 2025, came in at 2,377.44 crore rupees. Comparing that year over year, it's up 8.3% from the 2,195.11 crore rupees reported in Q4 of FY24.
An 8.3% growth year over year. And sequentially compared to the previous quarter, Q3 FY25,
sequentially, the NII actually saw a slight dip. It's down about 2.2% from the 2,431.34 crore rupees they posted in Q3 FY25. So growth compared to last year, but a small contraction from the immediately preceding quarter.
Okay, what about other income? That often tells an interesting story.
It certainly does this quarter. Standalone other income for Q4 FY25 was significant at 1,005.95 crore rupees. Year over year, that's a very strong jump of 33.4% compared to 753.88 crore rupees in Q4 FY24.
Wow, a 33% jump year over year. And quarter over quarter for other income?
Quarter over quarter, it also showed solid growth, up 9.8% from 916.17 crore rupees in Q3 FY25. This surge in other income definitely helped boost the overall numbers.
It seems like it. So combining NII and other income, what does the total income look like?
Standalone total income for Q4 FY25 stood at 7,654.31 crore rupees. That's up 13.7% year over year from 6,732.23 crore rupees. However, quarter over quarter, similar to NII, it saw a slight decrease down about 0.9% from 7,724.90 crore rupees in Q3.
Got it. Now let's look at the bottom line. Profit before tax and profit after tax for the standalone entity in Q4. YoY and QoQ comparisons?
Right. The standalone profit before tax or PBT for Q4 FY25 was 1,327.29 crore rupees. That's a healthy 10.1% increase year over year from 1,204.95 crore rupees. Sequentially, it's up 3.9% from 1,277.13 crore rupees in Q3 FY25.
Okay, so PBT is up both YoY and QoQ. What about the net profit, the profit after tax, PAT?
The standalone PAT for Q4 FY25 came in at 1,030.23 crore rupees. Year over year, this is up a strong 13.7% compared to 906.30 crore rupees in Q4 FY24. Sequentially, the growth is also good, up 7.8% from 955.44 crore rupees in Q3 FY25. This is their highest quarterly net profit ever, crossing the 1,000 crore mark.
Crossing the 1,000 crore rupees mark for quarterly PAT is a significant milestone. And the earnings per share EPS for standalone?
The basic EPS for the quarter, not annualized as per the results footnote, was 4.20 rupees, up from 3.72 rupees in Q4 last year and 3.89 rupees in Q3 this year. The investor presentation does mention an annualized EPS of 17.02 rupees for the quarter.
Alright, that covers the standalone picture for Q4. Now let's switch to the consolidated results, which include the subsidiaries and associates. How does the NII look on a consolidated basis for Q4, YoY and QoQ?
On a consolidated basis, the NII for Q4 FY25 was 2,651.48 crore rupees. Year over year, that's up 10.3% from 2,402.88 crore rupees in Q4 FY24.
10.3% YoY growth. And the quarter-over-quarter comparison for consolidated NII?
Sequentially, similar to the standalone figures, the consolidated NII saw a slight dip, down 1.6% from 2,695.05 crore rupees in Q3 FY25.
Okay, and consolidated other income? Following the standalone trend?
Yes, consolidated other income was also strong at 1,047.34 crore rupees in Q4 FY25. That's a robust 29.3% increase year over year from 809.90 crore rupees. Quarter over quarter, it grew 12.5% from 931.15 crore rupees.
So that leads us to consolidated total income. How does that compare?
Consolidated total income for Q4 FY25 reached 8,155.29 crore rupees. This represents a 14.1% growth year over year from 7,149.12 crore rupees. Sequentially, it was slightly down, about 0.5% from 8,196.02 crore rupees in Q3.
Makes sense. Now for the consolidated bottom line, PBT and PAT for Q4 YoY and QoQ.
Consolidated PBT for Q4 FY25 stood at 1,433.59 crore rupees. That's up 10.6% year over year from 1,296.04 crore rupees. Quarter over quarter, the growth was even stronger, up 12.3% from 1,276.85 crore rupees in Q3.
Interesting stronger QoQ growth in PBT at the consolidated level. And the final consolidated net profit?
The consolidated net profit attributable to the group for Q4 FY25 came in at 1,090.94 crore rupees. This is up 12.4% year over year from 970.79 crore rupees. Sequentially, it showed strong growth, up 15.5% from 944.15 crore rupees in Q3 FY25.
Good growth figures there too. And the consolidated EPS?
Consolidated basic EPS for the quarter, again, not annualized in the results table, was 4.44 rupees compared to 3.99 rupees in Q4 last year and 3.85 rupees in Q3 this year.
Okay, so looking at profitability, the press release mentioned a net interest margin, NIM, of 3.12% for Q4. How does the overall profitability picture look when comparing standalone and consolidated?
The profitability trends are quite aligned. Both standalone and consolidated results show healthy year-over-year PAT growth for Q4, driven significantly by the strong performance in other income, which helped offset the slightly muted NII growth. The NIM at 3.12% is stable, supported, as the management commentary suggests, by strategic pricing and CASA growth. The consolidated profit growth, quarter over quarter, was notably stronger than standalone, suggesting good performance from subsidiaries, perhaps especially Fedbank Financial Services.
Were there any exceptional items reported in either the standalone or consolidated results this quarter?
No, there were no items classified as exceptional in either set of results for this quarter or the financial year. This generally points towards a cleaner representation of the underlying business performance.
Good to know. Let's touch upon the balance sheet and capital position. We mentioned the 5.18 lakh crore rupees total business milestone. What about capital adequacy?
The bank looks well capitalized. The capital adequacy ratio, CRAR, as per Basel III guidelines, stood at 16.40% at the end of March 2025, comfortably above the regulatory requirements. This is up from 16.13% last year and 15.16% last quarter. Tier 1 capital is also strong at 15.04%. On the business side, total deposits grew 12.32% year over year to reach about 2.84 lakh crore rupees, and net advances grew 12.15% year over year to roughly 2.35 lakh crore rupees.
Solid growth and capital position. What about cash flows and dividends? The results package usually includes a cash flow statement.
Yes, the audited results include both standalone and consolidated cash flow statements. Summarizing the standalone for FY25, net cash generated from operating activities was robust at over 10,000 crore rupees. Net cash used in investing activities was around 3,744 crore rupees, mainly due to investment purchases. Net cash flow from financing activities was positive at about 5,571 crore rupees, driven by borrowings and share premium offset by dividend payments. Importantly, the board has recommended a final dividend of 1 rupee 20 paise per equity share, which is 60% of the face value of 2 rupees. This is subject to shareholder approval, of course.
A 60% dividend payout. Okay. Now, Federal Bank operates across different segments. How did these segments perform based on the consolidated figures?
Looking at the consolidated segment results for Q4 FY25, Treasury Operations reported segment revenue of 1,126 crore rupees and a profit PBIT of 171.65 crore rupees. Corporate Wholesale Banking showed revenue of 2,109 crore rupees and a strong profit contribution of 630.21 crore rupees. Retail Banking remains the largest segment by revenue, contributing 4,811 crore rupees. Interestingly, the profit here was 576.52 crore rupees. Within retail, the digital banking subsegment reported revenue of 487 crore rupees but showed a loss of 35.68 crore rupees, while other retail banking contributed the bulk of the profit. Other banking operations added about 105 crore rupees in revenue and 51.51 crore rupees in profit.
Interesting split within retail. Seems like the traditional retail and corporate wholesale banking are the main profit drivers. So overall performance analysis, strong profit growth, but what about asset quality? The press release highlighted decadal best.
Yes, that's a key positive. On a standalone basis, the gross NPA ratio improved significantly to 1.84% as of March 2025, down from 2.13% a year ago and 1.95% last quarter. The net NPA ratio is also very healthy at 0.44%, down from 0.60% last year and 0.49% last quarter. The provision coverage ratio or PCR, excluding technical write-offs, stood strong at 75.37%. This improvement in asset quality is definitely a major highlight and supports the decadal best claim.
That's certainly encouraging. Were there any other significant notes or events mentioned in the reports we should be aware of?
A couple of things. The bank implemented the new RBI Master Direction on the classification, valuation and operation of investment portfolio from April 1, 2024. This led to an increase in reserves at the start of the year due to fair value adjustments, but makes year-on-year comparisons of investment income potentially less straightforward. Also, as mentioned, Fedbank Financial Services, or FFSL, the subsidiary, showed strong AUM growth of nearly 30% year-over-year and reported healthy ROA and ROE for Q4, although its GNPA is slightly higher than the parent bank at 2%. The bank also noted that Equirus Capital ceased to be an associate from November 15, 2024, after the bank sold part of its stake.
Right, now, a crucial part, the auditor's report. Any qualifications or concerns raised by the joint auditors MSKA and associates in Suri and Company?
This is a key positive takeaway. The joint statutory auditors have issued an unmodified opinion on both the standalone and the consolidated financial results for the year ended March 31, 2025. The bank also included a specific declaration confirming this unmodified opinion.
An unmodified or clean opinion from the auditors is definitely reassuring for investors.
Absolutely. The consolidated report does mention the standard reliance on the work of other auditors for subsidiaries and associates, and reliance on the actuarial valuation certificate for the insurance associate, Ageas Federal, which is normal practice. They also note that the Pillar 3 Basel III disclosures linked in the notes are unaudited, as is typical. But importantly, there are no qualifications, adverse remarks, or emphasis of matter paragraphs highlighting major concerns.
Excellent. So bringing it all together, what's the outlook for Federal Bank based on these results?
Disclaimer: we advise investors to check with certified experts before taking any investment decisions. The outlook appears positive. The bank has demonstrated strong profit growth, particularly on a consolidated basis in the last quarter, significantly improved its asset quality to potentially its best levels in a decade, and maintains a healthy capital adequacy ratio. The growth in advances and deposits is steady. Key drivers would be maintaining NIMs in the current environment, continued traction in fee income, and managing asset quality. Potential risks revolve around macroeconomic factors impacting credit growth or NPAs and competitive intensity in the banking sector. The performance of its subsidiary FFSL will also be important to watch for the consolidated picture.
Great summary. So the key takeaways are strong bottom line growth in Q4, boosted by other income, decadal best asset quality, healthy capital, steady business growth, and importantly a clean chit from the auditors with an unmodified opinion on both standalone and consolidated results.
Exactly. Federal Bank seems to have ended the financial year on a solid note, hitting milestones in profit and asset quality. While the sequential NII growth was slightly muted, the overall picture, especially considering the clean audit report, looks quite encouraging.
Fantastic analysis. Thanks for breaking that down for us. That's all the time we have for today. Join us next time for more financial deep dives.